Hey, just a quick one, and this is as much about a philosophy or an attitude to something as it is about health and the physiological or the neurochemical response. What I'm talking about is stepping into something that feels uncomfortable or unnatural or confronting. And how that presents can have a vast array of different possibilities. It could be public speaking, it could be a project at school or work, it could be a difficult workout. How it presents is in some way irrelevant. How it imprints on our physiology is much the same or similar, in a sense that it triggers a bunch of hormones and neuromodulators that sort of puts us into this frame of mind that's alert, driven, motivated. And as a consequence of that, we get this sort of reward kickback. So just to kind of backpedal just a fraction, one of the neuromodulators that I'm referencing is called dopamine. And think about this, and I did a post about this the other day. Think about dopamine as a seesaw. Often we seek out external sources of pleasure: chocolate, sex, porn, cocaine, just a few of them. Sounds like a great afternoon. And as a buffer to that, when we push on the pleasure and reward, we get hit by pain in the sense that we feel craving, and so we sort of look for that same thing that brought us that pleasure in the first instance, which is essentially the backbone for addiction. However, flip that scenario on its head and we push down on the pain, i.e. the presentation, the project, the hard workout, then we get a dose of reward as a consequence. So it's not looking for the external reward behavior or habit or substance. We're actually pressing on the pain to get the opposite, to receive the opposite side of the seesaw, if that makes sense. So how does that manifest for me personally? Well, it's a workout. I do a workout 5 or 6 times a week, and I surf a couple of times. The response that I have from my surf, the surfing isn't arduous, the surfing is enjoyable. So I get a feedback loop from that is different to the feedback loop that I get from my or the intensity is different, I should say, is the feedback that I get from my workout. What I impose upon myself is something that is hard. It's a challenge. Even though I've been exercising for most of my life, I mentally work out what I'm going to do for that session. And there's a part of me that goes, oh, you mofo, like that's going to hurt. And so the physical output and pain and discomfort that I know I'm going to feel is me pushing on that pain side of the seesaw. The accomplishment, the satisfaction, the feel good that I receive once I've completed that last rep of that last set really does set a tone for the rest of the day. So don't be afraid to set yourself a challenge, and it can look and present in many different ways. It could be cold exposure, heat exposure, exercise, stepping out of your comfort zone in whatever form that takes. Don't be afraid of it. It builds resilience. Because if we can sit and be comfortable in the uncomfortable, then when we are confronted unexpectedly or expectedly by something that is uncomfortable in another area, then we are more resilient. We've been there. We know how to behave. We know how to react. We know how to control our emotions. It gives us that resilience and that strength. So don't aim for a life that you're deflecting those moments of challenge and uncomfortable. Breathe it in, welcome it in, see how you prevail, and I'm sure it will be a positive outcome nonetheless. I hope that helps.